So let us get started. Welcome to the Division 8 meeting for October 16th, 2021. Folks online, folks in the room, should be a great time. Call the meeting to order. A couple Zoom hybrid meeting, housekeeping notes and so forth. If you're on Zoom, please mute yourself during the meeting. If you need to speak, come off of mute, say your name so we know who you are, because we can't always identify the voice quickly, and then just tell us what you got to say. If you're in the room, of course, if you have a question, go ahead and ask a question. Whoever is up front, and most of the time that's going to be me because our presenter is remote, will repeat the question so that everybody online can also hear it also. Otherwise, you'd have to come up the front, ask a question, or you have to have a roaming mic, and that just gets silly. We'll just have you repeat. We'll just repeat the question for you. And then we will take a break as usual between the business meeting and the presentation, just like always. And of course, the meeting is being recorded. New member, Gary Dean. I did not see Gary online. Ron, is Gary online with us today?
He is not.
He is not. A brand new member. He officially joined. If you're part of a Groups IO, you've seen a couple of emails from him already. So he is fully engaged with the group. So do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting as they are posted on the website?
Russ, I do.
Russ, motion.
Second.
Cecil was first, Cecil second, and any objections or any corrections to be made? Hearing none, approved, and they are online. Mike Berry is up next with the treasurer's report. You can look at that, or then they can see you.
Okay.
But you'll need to take the mask off so they can hear you.
All right, we'll do that.
Okay. So if they can't hear you, Ron's going to come on immediately and say, "I can't hear you, Mike."
All right, well, we'll try to be heard here because it's a quickie anyway. Treasurer's report for this month as of this morning. We, under the expense category, any questions?
No questions in the room, none online. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
There you go. So moved. Mr. Johnson, second.
I second it.
Rick, thank you. Any objections? Approved. All right. Mike, can you speak to this slide? Since you're kind of involved in it.
As
Okay.
far as the
Because Rick Weaver is not with us today. I found out like an hour ago that he wasn't going to be able to be on the meeting. So I'm asking Mike, who helps with this, to talk to these three.
yeah, we've had a couple of member welfare deals so far this month. As you see there, Robin White just lost his mother a week ago, 2 weeks ago now, I think. So that's tough for his family. And then Eric Wagner had a hip replacement done. Eric on the mend there. And then Bill Edwards has been sadly back in the hospital. He's back home again, doing much better now. So at least Eric and Bill on the mend. And that's our member welfare report as I know it for this month.
Yep. Thank you, sir. Mr. Norman, Mark, are you online?
I am, sir.
All right.
We haven't had any requests just yet for things being evaluated, but now the weather is cooling. I hope to hear that here. I've reached out to a few people and everybody's busy out there. We're just waiting to do get some certificates out there.
Thank you, sir. I need to call you when we're done with this meeting, and I will.
I'll be there.
I know. Barry.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. And to all of our people joining us out in Zoom land, I want you to know it's getting a little steamy here in the 600 room this afternoon because our October model contest was steam locomotion. And it's also beginning.
You do not get extra points for dad jokes.
Oh, well, got caught red-handed on that one, but also it's beginning to look a little like Christmas in here because our third place winner for today, Rick Geertz, with his steam locomotive for Christmas display. Thank you, Rick, for getting us in the season and reminding us all to get our Christmas trains out and do some maintenance on them, get them ready, but not until the day after Thanksgiving. Okay, second place. We're getting a little grimier here, a little more realistic. It's Steve Lasher with his Bowser Pensy I1S 210. And boy, does that thing look like it's been out there for a while. So congratulations, Steve. And then first place by great acclaim of the membership, Ed Brennan, congratulations. This is a Broadway Limited Imports. And it's their blue line. And this is a Louisville and Nashville 282 Light Mikado. So congratulations on a great job. And we do have a certificate coming your way, Ed. And we're grateful for all the good work with steam locomotion this month. Now, November is displays. Over the years, this has been a real favorite in Division 8. It could be a module, it could be a T-track, it could just be a small display, no size limit. It's time to get creative, and we will see you next month for that. Thank you.
Any questions, comments, historical allegory for Barry before he sits down? Anybody? Bob, I thought you had a comment back there. Okay, cool. All righty. Move on then. And we standard stuff, we know that. Russ Weiss has about 20 slides for us. Okay, maybe 3.
I'm ready.
You're up, dude.
Yeah. Folks, we're very pleased today to have Mike Hulk from Division 12 giving his clinic on static grass. And I'm really looking forward to this because I have not had very good success with trying little spots here and there with applications. So I've heard everything from not enough glue to not enough charge, that you're just a poor modeler, Russ. So we'll see. So we'll see if maybe it's just all of the above, but this is going to be a fun clinic. So we're happy to have Mike here. More on Mike in a few minutes. And later on this month, we're going to have a gathering. And like it says up at the top, that because of a lot of things going on in November, like train shows and, well, let's see, Thanksgiving, that we decided to kind of move our gathering towards the end of this month, the 30th, and we're going to kind of combine it with November. So there'll be no November gathering, but we'll have a later October gathering. And this too seems to be a great one to tune in for, because our own Mike Berry will be giving a new way to use Arduino. Chris Broughton will show us 2 Fremo modulars that he's making that I believe also will be at our train show. Paul Downs will show us how earlier in the year, that when we had passenger contests for that month, that he won hands down for the scratch-built L&N passenger car they did. So he's going to show us all the steps that he did that. And we're going to save Steve to a little later in the year, but I'll tell you more about him later. And at our next journal membership meeting, which will be November 20th, again, another great clinician. Dave comes to us from over in the St. Louis area. So this, again, will be an interesting one about creating billboards from styrene. So that's going to be another fun one to watch. So thanks, Fred.
You bet. How many of you know of Dave Ackman? Wow, I'm a little surprised, Barry, that you don't, because I know you're out there like I am, looking in some of the same areas. But yeah, pretty well-known modeler. He's got a website out there and some videos and so forth. Yeah, good. This will be great. Absolutely. Ron?
Oh, yeah. Train show and sale coming up.
Did you forget?
I forgot temporarily. It is going to happen though, for sure. On Saturday, November 13th, 10 to 3. We're still looking for volunteers. Many of you out in the room there and online have already volunteered, but if you haven't, it's not too late. We need help to set up. We need help unloading the dealers, and we need help to tear down the room and put things back the way we found it and sweep up a bit at the end of the day. We expect to have all the tables sold. We have all but 1 or 2 sold now. And we have several layouts, nice layouts, big T-track setup going in, big N-scale modular layout. Mr. Johnson will be there with a new layout, unseen by almost nobody yet. Beautiful new layout, S-gauge. And we also are going to have we found a gentleman who's putting together an ON30 small layout. I believe it's 6 feet square. And it's about half done. So it'll be interesting to share with folks the construction techniques to build a modular ON30 layout. And that's it, Fred.
Question.
Mr. Johnson has a question. Yes, sir.
When can we get in to set up?
When can we get in to set up on Friday afternoon, evening?
4 p.m.
4 p.m. on Friday. And what time on Saturday morning?
7 a.m.
7 a.m. So 4 p.m. on Friday, 7 a.m. on Saturday. And you better be out of there by Saturday night. So no setup on Sunday.
Wait a minute. Okay, we can get in Friday night, but
No, we can't
We
get
don't-
in. We can't get in Friday night. You need
Oh,
to be
okay,
there
I go-
Friday afternoon.
well, Friday afternoon, but still, there's no security. There's no security.
No, that's not true, Mark.
No, there is now.
We don't need
Okay.
security. The place is locked up.
Yes, I know, but I mean, still, okay, that's fine.
The clergy is not going to steal from us. Security is not an issue.
Okay, well, a couple other places it has been. Well, okay, well, what time can we get it? Can vendors get in Friday?
No,
Just
vendors
just
can
lay
get
out-
in on
just
Saturday
lay out,
morning at
set up.
7 a.m.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, if so, I would change my story just a bit. But I've been telling people no Saturday morning early at 7:30, and there
There you
will
go.
be help.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. That's it.
Thank you. Okay.
Anything else about the train show, Ron?
That's it, Fred. Thank you.
Thank you. So if you've not already done it, go look at the 1-minute little promo video that we put out there for the train show. Okay. We put it out through Groups.io. So check your email. If you can't find it in your email, then go to Groups.io, find it in the email. If you can't do that, just go to the Division 8 our YouTube channel, and it's there. Take a look at it and then go share it. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, whatever. Send them a link in an email or post it to Facebook, whatever. One more way to get the word out. Okay. All right.
And of course, Fred, the YouTube channel is accessible through the Division 8 webpage if you can't find it on YouTube.
It is. Yes, sir.
Really? Email me or email Division 8, Division 8 Train Show, gmail.com. Or if nothing else, you can call me. I don't care. I mean, I'll try and answer it truthfully.
Mark, we're talking about, and that's good, Mark. We are kind of talking about just the video right now, but yeah, if anybody's got questions about the train show, holler at Mark. Y'all got the links. Good, thank you. Just a quick reminder, Mike talked about it briefly during the treasurer's report that Christmas party end of year celebration is coming up Saturday, December 4th. Payable $35 a person for the buffet to Mike, and same place we were last time. Had a great meal, had a great time, and free parking. There you go. And additional information in the PieCard, of course. Division 8 membership currently stands at 123, and you see the stats there, pretty much the same as we've had for a while. A couple new members here and there, as we lose people here and there for various reasons. Javier just moved to Where did he move to?
Arizona.
Arizona, I think. That's right. Man,
San Antonio, that's all
San
right.
Antonio,
Yep.
one of those Southwest places
Yeah, or something.
where it's hot always. All right. So celebrating 30 to 39 years. Remember, we're working our way down now. We're down to 30 to 39 years. Kevin Jones with 32, Bob Frankron, 34, and Mark Norman. I think he's the only one on the call today with 34, and Bernard Beckert with 35. So next month, we're going to go down to the 20s. We'll get there. All right. And that, believe it or not, is the formal part of today's meeting. Wow. Well, you know, we usually do a back to basics at this point. The back to basics has been preempted or superseded by the fantasy paint schemes. Aha. If you're in the room today, in the 600 room, take a look where the goodies are back there, and you can take a look at one of the fantasy paint schemes. This is the last one I'm going to talk about today. Is Steve Lasher on the call?
No,
Okay. You'll see why here in a minute. And just as a quick reminder, you know, we issued this challenge a while ago because we talked about it in Groups IO, a believable fantasy paint scheme, present day, fallen flag, railroad, whatever. Give us a brief background story. You had to do the work, no off the shelf stuff. No voting, have fun, be imaginative. So Bob Dawson and I have talked about it. And because there were only 3 entries, unfortunately, I'm going to put together about a 2-page article with pictures so you'll see all the details in the PieCard, and we're just going to talk about them very, very briefly today. So the first one, I think some of you already saw, this is from Bob Frankron. It is a Southern FP45, and the story behind this is that the Southern Railroad, wait a minute, Southern Railway, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So it's already a fantasy. He called it the Southern Railroad. Performed a 6-month road test of some new motive power that EMD wanted them to try out. So the stipulation was, that's fine, but you have to paint it. EMD had to paint it in the Southern paint scheme, and this is what they came up with. At the end of the test, the Southern said, yeah, it's not for us, and returned it, and no charge for the use of this for 6 months. Cool beans? So basically, Bob started out with a blue box, believe it or not, Athearn F45 that he painted black and so, but all the details will be in the PieCard, so you guys will be able to read about that. So there you go. Next one up, who do you think this is from? Not me. Steve Lasher. Steve Lasher, actually. Yeah, Steve Lasher. So it's HO scale. Southern Pacific had a policy of buying a few locomotives from minority builders. And this is really a true story. This part of it is true. The SP, along with, I think, Santa Fe and maybe UP, although, you know, they didn't play with everybody too well. And they still don't. At any rate, always bought a few from the competitors to EMD. SP was an EMD railroad. It was. But they bought a few others to kind of make EMD be honest with, yeah, we're still improving stuff, we're still doing stuff that you're asking for, and so on and so forth. Because if they were the only player in the game, EMD would have said, why do we have to make it any better? So there you go.
I got a real story sometime for that.
Absolutely. So if you're not a real SP aficionado, you're going to look and go, well, it's an Alco. SP had Alcos. But they never had any of these guys. They never had any RS-27s. So for most of us, you probably can't tell the difference between an RS-11, an RS-12, an RS-15, an RS-27, an RS-37. You know, how many of you can on a glance? Besides Barry and me, maybe, you know? Yeah, well, that's so this is Steve's fantasy paint scheme, is this RS-27, that they probably would have only built a few of them anyway, and you probably wouldn't have seen them out there. They escaped the photographer's eye, and there you go. It started out as an undecorated Walters Proto DL 640 RS-27, and then he did all the detailing that he knows and loves for an SP model. Cool beans? Pretty neat thing. All right, this is the one that's at the back. So you all know who did this one. This is mine, okay? So it is an SP patch of a UP engine. Yes. Okay, so everything you think you know from Wikipedia and the news and everything else did not happen. There was never the shouldn't paint so fast, the SPFF paint scheme, because the SP and the Santa Fe never tried to merge. Why? because the SP had already bought the Union Pacific back in the late 70s. That's what this is. Okay, probably not. We know that. If that hurts your feelings, then just assume that the SP in the late 70s, early 80s bought a few SD 40-2s from the UP and they did a patch job on them. If that makes you feel better, okay? In my world, if you come down to my basement, you're going to see this running down there. And the story is the SP did not get bought, it bought. So what is this thing? Well, it started out as a scale trains, not operator, but rivet counter. It started as a rivet counter. And I looked at that and said, I am not going to take a chance on this because I haven't done any of this kind of stuff in years. So it's a rivet counter and it's an operator. So the bottom of it, the chassis is actually a rivet counter, but the shell is a shell I found on eBay for 20 bucks. Okay, it's like, whew, I felt so much better than that, especially because I screwed up the first one really bad. It's a good thing I bought two. But anyway, that's what it is. A little bit of paint, some micro scale decals, and a little bit of imagination to make this thing work. It's 2:25. Let's take 5 minutes, and then we'll continue with our presentation.